And warm and dry this evening across West Alabama. Right now 79 in Tuscaloosa, Linden at 80. Your local forecast here in just a few minutes.
And recovery is underway after Hurricane Helene. We'll tell you how rescue programs and relief organizations are providing help and how you can get involved. And health providers were in Jasper today looking for some qualified workers. WVUA 23 News starts right now.
This is WVUA 23 News.
And we're glad you're with us tonight. I'm Jabari Pruitt. Up top tonight, an arrest after a weekend stabbing in Tuscaloosa. The stabbing happened in the 4400 block of Cypress Creek Avenue at the Runningbrook Apartments. A woman was found with multiple stab wounds. 26-year-old Deasia Tiana Jemison has been charged with attempted murder. Investigators say the stabbing stemmed from an earlier argument at a local club. The victim is expected to survive her injuries. We're turning our attention now to the weather. A very nice start to the work week. Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott is here with the first look at that forecast. Richard, good evening.
Hey, Jabbar, good evening to you. Not too bad out there right now. 79 here in Tuscaloosa, 79 in Linden, 77 in Jasper. The cloud cover extensive out there now. And again, that cloud cover will continue to drift southeastward across central Alabama. Some returns on radar across Mississippi, but no rain across our local area. Maybe a quick little sprinkle, and that's about it. We'll drop into the upper 60s at 10 o'clock, mid 60s after 1 a.m. Some patchy fog is going to be possible beginning our Tuesday, Jabari. More on those local numbers here in just a few minutes.
Richard, thank you. With the devastating aftermath of Hurricane Helene is becoming clearer as the days passed. At least 128 people have died across 6 states, and rescuers fear the death toll will continue to rise. North Carolina's governor talked about the state's response to the storm's widespread devastation.
This is an unprecedented storm, and it's causing us to have an unprecedented response. We are coordinating a multi-state, multi-local, federal response where we are surging search and rescue teams to help rescue people who are still stranded but can't communicate because cell phone service is down. Rivers are still rising, so the danger is not over.
North Carolina had the most fatalities at 40. Now, Governor Kay Ivey has deployed members of the Alabama National Guard to assist these hard-hit areas. WVUA 23 Jocelyn Malave is here with details on how you can help those relief efforts. Jocelyn.
Jabari, some towns were wiped out completely. People are still trying to get to the trail of destruction left behind.
Relief efforts here in Alabama have been underway since last week, aiding people who are trapped in their homes, separated from their families, or injured from the storms.
Right now, they're focused on feeding in the shelters, damage assessment, making sure people have, a place to sleep, clothing, a place to shower, feel a little human in this time of disaster.
As the Red Cross gets more involved, they will begin mobile feeding and helping in efforts to find where people may be trapped. Former Northport Mayor Bobby Herndon is also helping. Like he has in years past, he's organized a relief effort drive for those of us here who feel the need to help.
Ever since the tornado of 2011 that hit Tuscaloosa so bad, I was mayor of the city of Northport that time. We worked closely with our brothers and sisters in Tuscaloosa. I saw the outpouring of love and concern from across the country to Tuscaloosa. And I've made a vow to myself that if ever given the opportunity, I was going to go back and repay people for that.
Herndon is collecting relief supplies, resources, and donations at Herndon, Hicks & Associates through Wednesday. Experts say it's vital we all stay prepared for emergencies like this.
Unfortunately, events like this can happen, and we're facing complete and total devastation in some areas. And, being prepared, having that emergency kit, having that supply of food, water, first aid, that can literally be your difference between life and death. So it's critically important that you listen to the authorities, get prepared, and take these things seriously.
Some of the biggest needs right now include stock supplies like diapers, bottled water, snacks, canned foods, tools, and blood donations through blood drives. Jabari.
Jocelyn, thank you. With the Conyers, Georgia Biolab chemical plant fire that started yesterday morning is still going strong. More than 90,000 residents east of Atlanta are either evacuation or shelter-in-place orders. The orders came after air quality surveys were conducted by the EPA. The fire resulted from a faulty sprinkler head and a water reactive chemical. Now, officials say the harmful irritant chlorine was detected closer to the source of the fire. On a much lighter note, Alabama beat Georgia on Saturday in a nail-biter after giving up a 4-touchdown lead. WVUA 23 Sports Director Gary Harris is here. And Gary, Coach DeBoer addressed the media today, right?
He did, Jabari, but I got to tell you, I'm going to talk about me for a moment. I still have a surge of adrenaline from Saturday night going through my body. I think most Alabama fans do, and what I consider one of the greatest college football games that I've ever witnessed. Georgia rallied from a 28-0 second quarter deficit to take a 34-33 lead over Alabama with a little more than 2 minutes to go in the game. But on the first play after Georgia's touchdown to take the lead, Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe hit sensational freshman Ryan Williams, and a spectacular run after the catch and 2-point conversion gave the Tide a 41-34 lead, and Bama hung on to win by that score. But today, Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer said in this league, win or lose, you have to turn the page quickly.
We know we're only as good as our last game, and everything that's on film or anything that didn't go, like you'd hoped, is going to be what the next opponent's going to look at and try to attack you with. So, again, I think looking forward to tomorrow morning, and a great practice. Should be full of energy. It needs to be the best Tuesday we've ever had, just because that's the way we have to approach each and every opportunity.
Love that mindset. And Jabari, as you said, Alabama's #1 in the AP poll for the first time in nearly 2 years. More on that and more from Coach DeBoer coming up later in sports. Jabari, back to you.
Gary, thank you. Will help today in Walker County for those looking for a healthcare job. The Jasper Career Center hosted a job fair for those looking for in-home care jobs. 8 employers were on site looking for job candidates. Now, there were hiring for CNAs, personal sitters, care pros, and RNs. Now, they're looking for caring, nurturing, and experienced workers to help with elderly clients.
Well, we're looking for compassion. We're looking for empathy. Experience is always a plus, but as far as passion is a lot of times it's going to outweigh experience.
If they're not qualified on certain items, we do in-house training. We certify our people on things that they cannot get other places. We tend to offer a little bit more than the average home care company because my girls are certified to do tube feedings.
Now, you can call 205-449339 for information about the KPK home care position. Well, coming up, Freedom Farm Welcome Houston House as the first residential residence will tell you what that means for the cocoa community. And the Tuscaloosa Farmers Market has a variety of vendors. We'll tell you how one farmer brought his farm from the basement to the market. Stick around, those stories when we come back. A great project was celebrated in Coker today. A foster home built on a farm was dedicated and is ready to give children a new home. The Freedom Farm is a community foster home on land donated by the Houston Family Foundation and funded by the Tom Bigby RC&D. This farm will house 6 foster children and is just the first of 7 planned homes.
This house represents a home for 6 kids that are either abused, neglected, or abandoned, and have probably had little or no love and respect in their lives.
There's no better way to learn about how to live life, the work, the nature, all that is just all comes together. It's just a great environment for children to grow up in.
Now, managers expect a license from the state to be issued soon. Then the children will move in immediately. Well, Habitat for Humanity Tuscaloosa dedicated their 109th home today. The Anderson family was handed the keys to their brand new home in the Milestone Circle neighborhood. This build was made possible with the help from a longtime sponsor, Public Supermarket, charities, builders group, and community volunteers.
That was made possible through a partnership with the Builders Group. They donated some of the lots. We purchased other lots. All of the homeowners work on each other's homes, and so they all know each other. It creates a wonderful sense of community, and we are so grateful to the Builders Group for making this possible.
Now, Habitat for Humanity is in the process of developing a new 32-home neighborhood. Well, the Tuscaloosa Farmers Market features food from one of the smallest farms in the region. This farm is less than a half the size of a modern home and is in a basement. Tom Grant reports.
Card, cash, PayPal, Venmo, Firstborn.
The Farmers Market in Tuscaloosa draws crowds every Saturday with lush greens, brilliant red tomatoes, sweet melons.
Good morning, young lady.
And one veggie born not in sun, but in shadow.
We're underground forest. We're downtown underground.
Martin Blair wanted to be a farmer, but he didn't own land. So 2 years ago, he started farming these beauties in his basement.
Pink, black pearl, chestnut, beech, enoki.
He loves it.
It's just amazing how mushrooms have just resonated with me. I love them. They're so much like you and I that we actually share 53% the same DNA.
Customers rave.
I've been a big fan. You know, if I had to name my favorite single food, it would probably be mushroom.
Now, these mushrooms have a bit of a nutty taste, but the oyster mushrooms, they taste like chicken.
Saute this with butter or olive oil, and you'll get grilled chicken.
Despite the interest the underground forest draws at the farmers market, Blair says his mushrooms have yet to hit the mainstream. But he has dreams of sweeter days rising from the shade.
We even have a baker that now takes our mushrooms and they make mushroom danishes.
At the Tuscaloosa Farmers Market, I'm Tom Grant.
Now, if you would like to grow your own mushrooms, the Underground Forest will sell you a pre-planted block so you can start your own farm in your own basement.
And got a live view from the Demopolis camera, and according to Facebook, that is an osprey on that tower that's right there, the cable TV tower building. Really cool to see a large bird there, and that's not a buzzard. We'll talk more about your local forecast up next. Hear my forecast every day on Rock 106.3 FM. It starts off live with a look at Fayette. This is the Algo traffic camera, downtown Fayette area, and conditions all dry out there. A lot of cloud cover, and it is kind of gloomy at times, but overall we are currently rain-free in Fayette County. Let's go to our Demopolis camera, and this is over in North Marengo County. First time I see one of these fellas on here. This is, according to Facebook, a lot of people's looking at this thing, is an osprey, which is really neat to see that live on TV. Usually we call this the buzzard cam because typically there's buzzards hanging out there. 79 currently in Demopolis. That is a very large bird there, and even though it's zoomed in, it's a large size, we can tell. 79 from Brian Denny and Tuscaloosa. No ospreys in sight there. Quite a bit of cloud cover, though. And again, conditions are currently dry here in Tuscaloosa. Got University Boulevard right there downtown, or looking towards the north direction, towards Northport. And again, Doppler radar, nice and quiet. No rain out there across the region. 79 in Tuscaloosa and Linden, 77 at Jasper and Birmingham. Talladega at 77, going to be the happening place this weekend. And again, cloud cover moving back into central Alabama. A lot of cloud cover today across the state. Some of us seeing some sun, but not a whole lot out there. Here's that forecast tonight, though. By 10, we're at 69, 66 at 1 a.m., mostly cloudy. Patchy fog develops after midnight. We'll zoom into Bibb County, check out that forecast. 67 down in the northwest Bibb County along Highway 82 corridor down towards Brent and Centerville, and also to the northeast, 6 Mile around 66 tomorrow morning at daybreak. For the bus stop forecast, got a little fog out there. 64 at daybreak around that bus pickup time frame just after sunrise. We got a low 80s by mid-afternoon for tomorrow. Maybe a brief shower or two, but the risk of rain here is pretty low for our Tuesday. We're already up to 78 by lunchtime. In terms of the air temperature, it could be still pretty hot this time of the year, so at least a little bit of a break in terms of excessive heat, at least for quite some time. We'll get warmer later this week, though, and maybe a brief shower or thunderstorm tomorrow. The risk of rain, 20% for tomorrow. But again, most of us generally staying rain-free. Let's check out that 7-day, and we've got some warmer weather coming up. Mid-80s for Wednesday, maybe some upper 80s returning by Thursday. And it's going to Friday. Temperatures will be in the lower 80s, a chance for a few passing rain showers. Don't think it'll rain everywhere. On Friday, we'll be watching that tropical low in the Gulf of Mexico. Good news is with that feature, not seeing any sign of anything becoming well organized with that for Friday. And then for the weekend, drier weather settling back in with a good supply of sunshine. Will be quite warm over the weekend with temperatures topping out in the mid-80s on Saturday as well as on Sunday. That's a look at your local forecast update. Let's go over to Gary.
Thanks, Richard. Coming up, youth was served for the Alabama Crimson Tide this past Saturday night against the Georgia Bulldogs. And the Crimson Tide's dramatic victory vaulted them to the top of the AP poll for the first time in nearly 2 years. All that and more Bama football coming up next in WVUA 23 Sports.
I mean, it was just a
I can't describe it. It feels like a dream, like for real. Like I can't even. I know I made the play, but I can't remember the details of it. It's just like it's just a dream for real.
We just had to do what we had to do to win the game, and I mean we don't really try to look into that because every game is a big game because it's the next one. But we definitely were glad to make sure everybody knew Coach DeBoer knew what he was doing.
Two true freshmen, 18-year-old Xavier Brown and 17-year-old Ryan Williams, saved the game for the Crimson Tide on Saturday night against the Georgia Bulldogs. An instant classic as Bama won 41-34 over Georgia on Saturday evening. Good evening, everybody. I'm Gary Harris. And Alabama's monumental victory over Georgia vaulted the Crimson Tide to #1 in the latest Associated Press Top 25 poll. Bama is the #1 team in the AP poll for the first time since October 2nd, 2022, almost 2 full years ago. That win was enough for Alabama to surpass both Texas and Ohio State, which received 44 and 5 first-place votes, respectively. Even though the Longhorns and Buckeyes both dominated their conference opponents, Bama took care of Georgia. That's worth more than that. Tennessee moved up 1 spot to #4, and Georgia fell from #2 to #5. Well, after leading Georgia 28-0 in the second quarter and 30-7 at halftime, the Bulldogs went on a 27-3 run in the second half to take a 34-33 lead before the Ryan Williams touchdown catch. Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer said today the game is another learning experience in regard to the success in the first half and the struggles in the second half.
For us to start fast like we have really the last 2 games, we did against Western Kentucky, the South Florida game, I think we learned a lot. But I really like that because that shows the preparation, the confidence that is a result of it. We hit the ground running. Yes, we would like to have a better second half. There's literally one play here, one play there, a small little piece that would have, in the early part of the third quarter, mid part of the third quarter, completely changed that game. And unfortunately, it did. It did happen, and we have to continue to learn from that.
Always a learning experience. Alabama at Vanderbilt on Saturday. Well, Crimson Tide quarterback Jalen Milroe is the SEC Player of the Week after he accounted for a career-best 491 total yards and 4 touchdowns in that win over then #2 Georgia. He threw for a career-high 374 yards and 2 scores on 27 of 33 passing and recorded 2 touchdown passes of 16 and 75 yards. He also eclipsed the 100-yard mark on the ground, totaling 117 rushing yards on 16 carries and added 2 rushing scores of 7 and 36. According to a lot of those odds makers, he is the favorite right now for the Heisman Trophy. And no surprise here, Ryan Williams is the SEC Freshman of the Week after he led the Crimson Tide receivers once again. He recorded a career-high 177 yards and a touchdown, made numerous highlight reel catches, punctuated by that game-winning 75-yarder, and added 1 punt return and a pair of kickoff returns in that big top 5 matchup. So Bama rolling, getting ready for Vanderbilt. More on that later in the week. And Jabari, big news over in Atlanta today. The Braves and Mets are playing. If they split the doubleheader, they both go to the playoffs. If one sweeps the other, then the Diamondbacks would get in. The Braves lost that first game 8-7, and now they lead 1-0 in the 6th. In the second game, the Braves have to win this game, or they will not go to the playoffs. We'll have the highlights for you tonight at 10.
All right, Gary, thank you. Stick around. We're coming right back. And coming up on the news at 10, a new Alabama law goes in effect tomorrow. The state is joining a growing list that have been snubbed for assessing major porn website Pornhub. And we'll have more from an anti-gun rally in Tuscaloosa. We have those stories and much more tonight at 10 o'clock. A runner tackles Philadelphia's famous Rocky Steps 1,000 times, and a first grader turns his duties into a full-fledged business. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at this.
Take a look at a resolute runner who spent nearly 2 straight days tackling the iconic Rocky Steps in the city of brotherly love, and all for the love of his brother. James Resnick set out on this tireless and tiring effort a year ago and spent months in training to conquer 1,000 laps on the steps outside Philadelphia's Museum of Art, the ones made famous in the film Rocky. At 144 steps per lap, that's 144,000 steps in all. Resnick's lofty, leggy goal was all to honor his brother Sammy, who was left paralyzed by a car accident 22 years ago and now lives in a full-time care facility. As Resnick completed his 40-hour climbing crusade, Sammy was right there waiting to greet his bro, who proved he not only has the eye of the tiger and legs of steel, but a heart of gold as well. Now to another super inspirational troopa. Poopa Scoopa Luca. That's the nickname of this Rhode Island 6-year-old whose love of animals inspired him to start his own business, being on duty for his pet-owning neighbors.
People hate picking up dog poop.
Luca's mom, an animal rescue worker, says her son has helped her help countless animals.
Volunteering is one of our core values in life.
But he recently bonded with a shelter cat and wanted to adopt it.
He asked me, how can I raise money to adopt this kitten?
And so, Poopa Scoopa Luca's biz was born. At $15 a pop, job, he soon had enough scratch to bring home Pebbles the kitten. And as for the work, it's a dirty job, but Luca says he doesn't mind it.
It's fun. I love cleaning. It's like one of my favorite things.
For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
All right, got a live view of the Demopolis Cam. Look at this.
That's
this
amazing.
is an osprey, which is incredible to see somewhere in Demopolis and that close up with the camera live on TV.
All right, that's it for us. Have a great evening.